Hey everyone, welcome back to another Fortnite Save the World video. So, here we go again with Ridge Amplifier. And if you know me well, you will know how much I love this amp. Kidding, I hate it more than you can imagine. I will go right away with today's video, some general information then the build. I already explained everything about this amplifier, how it works, why it's bugged, why this path instead of that one, why not a recycled build instead of a damaged one, and etc. Everything in this video. So, no need to waste more time. Most of you already saw it anyway and know what I'm talking about. But if not, I recommend watching it first before building anything. I explained everything you need to know in detail. It won't be a new build, well, not fully. It's the old build, but with a lot of changes and optimizations, plus all the edits and updates I posted before. So, it will be all in one video. And to avoid any confusion, let's call this build 2024 build 1. And of course, read the description first before building anything. So, if there's a new update for the build, or even a newer build, all the links will be there. Plus any extra information for anything I forgot to mention during the video. Unfortunately, the recycled build, the 50% damage, 50% recycle, all the previous ideas I showed cases before didn't go well after the terrain update. Of course they work well, but once a smasher spawned during wave 22, and you have the bug where they don't recognize the amp, it's a GG. I will try to cover the main ideas for these builds in another video, like the paths, the main block-offs, and etc. But today, it will be the rebuild video. Wave 22 is still bugged for me, but I will try to cover everything as much as possible to control it. And to make it simple, I will divide the video to 3 parts. 1. I will cover the build step by step with all the block-offs. 2. I will cover most of the situations that may happen. Like what to do if you got the lobbers thing, when they start destroying everything. Or if you want a different loop bridge, how to build it. And etc. Even you can skip to this part to check it first to see if this build works for you or not before building anything. I will add timestamps to the video so you can go the part you need easily. 3. Extra parts and spawn cover for people who have wave 22 bug, or very low traps damage and durability ratios. I want to mention few things before we start. This build may be expensive, but not like the previous one. I know we all hate expensive builds, but it's the only way to control this amp with normal builds. I added a lot of changes to make it cheaper. This is a damage build, so it requires a decent traps damage and durability ratios. Plus the traps perks matter. I'm not saying to use the exact perks I use, or max traps damage and durability ratios. A lot of people know how traps work, and they use their own perks and everything work well. Even some people cleared Twine Peak's endurance with a very low traps durability ratio. What I mean is, don't use some duplicated traps you got from somewhere and expect it to work flawlessly. You can use them. I know that not everyone have all the traps and high traps durability, but it won't be efficient like using the right traps and perks. But in general, be reasonable. I check a lot of others' bases when I have a chance. And sometimes I see massive issues. Like gas traps placed 3 levels up, wall launchers instead of damage wall traps, tier 1 metal, no loop bridge, half of the block-offs are missing, and the list goes on. Of course you may suffer from some issues with your build, even if you built everything exactly right. It's not a big deal, don't worry. Updating the loop bridge or the block-offs always fix it. Meaning, if you will replace something or use a different traps or parts for the build, check first if they will suit your build. Like if you don't have this damage trap, replace it with another damage trap, not a recycle one. This applies to all the amplifiers and any endurance, not just Ridge Amplifier. A lot of talking I know, but I had to explain everything. With that said, let's start with the build. We have a big spawn here. And there are 2 ways to the amplifier. And since we can't build straight from here, because of the smashers thing, where they don't recognize the amp, I will block this area and give them another path from here. And for this one, I will build half of it, and block the other half. No need to waste a lot of traps and structures. Then I will connect it with the other path. Let's start with this one. But first, let's shift this lava bomb to be able to build our block-offs. I will shift it normally with just few floors. And if it doesn't shift in your base and keep breaking the floors, just restart the game, and it will fix it. And don't worry if you got confused while building this part, I will jump every few steps to show you the build progress in this area. I know, it may be annoying for some of you because of all these jumps just for this part, but it confused a lot of people during the last build video. Now for the other path block-offs. Half of the block-offs here are extra, but I added them because lobbers can go crazy on this part sometimes. This block-offs works for the home base as well. Now for the main paths. Keep the last tile without any small walls. These two ramps are extra, you can skip them. Now since we can build inside terrains, I will cover all this way up with traps. Very useful. Now for the lobber shield. Looks weird, I know, but I will explain why later in the video. This pillar is extra, but I added it to connect the build with each other when you use your base. I will explain it more after finishing the build. Now for the loop bridge. An extra connection, just in case the first one got destroyed. Smashers may destroy some of these arches. It's okay, don't worry, even if they destroyed most of them. An opening here to drag the smashers to follow the amp and charge on it. But keep it normal on the other side. Now for the weird part. It's extra and I'm still testing it. Add some edited doors like this around the amp. I haven't tested much yet, but it helped to control the smashers. They kept moving around them like it's a dancer or amp design, if you know what I mean. I will test it more and update you in the description. And since I added the gap here, the smasher kept moving around here. I added this part like this and for some reason it helped more. And mostly a mini boss may destroy them anyway. Don't know if it is a one-time thing or not, to be honest, but I wanted to cover everything I know about this part. The smasher just kept moving forward and backward here. And since we can build inside terrains now, we can build some walls under the amplifier to help us to control smashers and mini bosses even more. If you didn't know, smashers and mini bosses will destroy anything built within one tile around the amp before following the loop bridge. But here they can't reach these walls. And they will do funny things trying to reach them, but they won't. Even I saw mini bosses walking under the map trying to reach these walls. But they can reach these two walls from the edge here. So edit them like that. 1 or 2 walls should be more than enough. But I added 8 because why not, let's confuse them even more. I will show some ideas for other loop bridges and double loop bridge, but first let's add our traps. These are the traps and perks I will use for this build. The numbers of each one, the main and the extra. For the number of structures for the build, check the description. I want to mention something before adding the traps. In the build notes section, where I will explain some extra edits for some bugs, extra parts to add if you load durability, and etc. And during that, I may destroy some traps and replace them. So, if you are running low on traps, or don't have many from the ones with the right perks, I recommend watching the notes part first, then add your traps. Now let's add the traps. Wall spikes on the block-offs as usual. For any husk, lobber, or flingers trying to take a shortcut or follow you if you were standing in a wrong spot. This is the annoying part about building inside terrains. Sometimes you can't place a trap on these builds, and you have to destroy and rebuild them to be able to. Even you need to build a structure with a different material, then change I again to metal for it to work. Only 2 sound wall traps here, and the rest broadsides. I know it's not the best for pro panes. I will explain this part more in a moment, don't worry. Make sure of the direction of the trap. To push the husk outside the tunnel, not inside. Tier 3 tar pits is more than enough, no need for 130. We just use them to stop the husk and mist monsters. You can use freeze trap here, to push the smashers back, but I will use tar pit to control any possible charges inside the tunnel. These 2 are extra. Just in case a smasher reached the amp, they decided to go back and charge on your build walls. These 2 tar pits will stop it till the traps here eliminate it. That's why I added a lot of traps here to cover the whole area. Two options here. You can use reload instead of one of the perks, but only in one condition. If you have really low durability and a lot of husk can reach the end of the tunnel easily, so your traps can reload faster. Yes, you may think to use gas traps here, but it's the end of the tunnel. I don't need an effect or a tick damage, I need a massive damage that can one-shot most of the husk. That's why I recommend using the damage perk, and add a spawn cover, so your zappers here can deal a massive damage to the smashers once they reach this part. Same thing, you can use freeze traps here to push back the smashers. But I use tar pits for any smasher charges, since I have wave 22 bug. You can use floor spikes traps here if your traps run out of durability fast in this part. Smashers may destroy this ramp up, so I will add a lot of traps here to control them as much as possible. Use 1 reload, 5 durability sound wall here. I just forgot to set the schematic for it before recording. Use what suits you on this roof. I just prefer zappers for more damage. Now everything is ready, well, almost. Let me mention every possible situation and how to handle it. But before that, edit the lobber shield like that. Just 1 tile shift, don't worry. And of course, you can extend and expand it if needed. Now let's continue. 1. Sometimes propanes go crazy and start destroying your tunnel for no reason. And for that, we need more sound wall traps to control them. Replace some broadsides here with sound walls. Same thing here. But be careful, make sure they have different reload speeds if you will place 2 sound walls facing each other's, or it will be useless. I explained this more in this video. How this trap works, how to use it, everything. Check it, it will help you a lot. 2. Sometimes lobbers go crazy and start throwing and destroying your build. It was rare to happen before. But right now, it happens a lot. That's why I have these floors for anti-air traps. 7 should be more than enough. But what if you need more? You can add some in these places. Only if you need to. Other thing, sometimes lobber, zappers, beachers, flingers target these walls for no reason. And the weird thing is, they destroy a wall or 2, then go away. And for that, I added these roofs here. Work as a lobber shield, plus I can add some drop traps on them to control the husk. 2 reload 4 durability if you want to just slow them or send them away. Any damage will send them away, no need to eliminate anything. But what if you want actual damage, to eliminate them? Because maybe they won't go away. For that, add damage drop traps like this one. What if you need more damage? Replace these 4 wall spikes with these wall darts. But be careful, these wall darts are good for lobbers, or anything tries to hit your walls from a distance, since wall spikes won't do anything. But for the regular husk, the general case, wall spikes are the best. Plus these wall darts require a bit more durability. But wait, what if you got only the lobbers issue here, and don't want to waste all these structures? Well, in that case, add just some anti-air traps here, and that's it. Again, you don't need all of that, I'm just explaining all the possible situations. So, if you got one of these issues, you will know what to do. 3. For any reason, if smashers charge inside your tunnel here, add these 2 floors, they will help. 4. If this ramp up gets destroyed a lot for no reason or smashers stuck inside it, edit it to half stair like this. There's a bug where smashers can phase under the ramps and go straight under the map. I already recorded it, but I can't find the clip yet. I will try to add in any future videos or in the gameplay video tomorrow if I manage to find it. Also, smashers may get stuck under this ramp because of this drop trap impact. If this happened to you, replace this drop trap with ceiling electric field trap. Add these traps, I forgot to add them. This video is already long enough. Covering all the possible loop bridges will take a lot of time. I will cover them, don't worry, but in a separate video. For now, I just want to explain the extra spawn cover you can use if your trap's durability is very low, because I'm sure a lot of people need it. Plus the biggest boost you can use, which is your constructor base. A lot of people underestimate it, which is a huge mistake. I will explain the loadout in this video, don't worry. First, this extra spawn cover is not just for low durability, let me explain. Sometimes after some updates, Twine Peaks gets a lot of bugs. Especially Ridge Amplifier, we all know that. And the worst 2 are, smashers and flingers. Adding the spawn cover that I will show in a moment helps a lot. Yes, it may cost a lot of structures. But all I do is adding it, and that's it. I don't change the loop bridge, or update the block-offs. This spawn cover plus the base won't allow even the smashers to reach half of the tunnel. A lot of people didn't like it when I showed it in the last build update video, since it's an easy way to handle it. But the thing is, we all know how this amp is. No matter what you do, if some of these bugs happened, it will remain till they fix it. Mostly they do in the next update. But sometimes it takes a bit more, love lobbers for example. I don't know why, but they are always weird when this event happens. Anyway, this is just an explanation for why I use this spawn cover if needed. And of course, as I always say, add it only if you need to. Now let's build it. I will cover all the spawn as much as possible. This floor is a connection for the base. You can even add more here, but mostly no one will need to. Focus on the direction of the traps, to push the husk to the back, not to the front. I missed some since I was placing them fast. But in general, try always to push the husk back. This spawn cover will block some of these anti-air traps. So, remove them and place them above the spawn if needed. What if you need even more damage here? You can cover the spawn with some wall darts traps. And use the healing perk on them, so you can remove these block-offs on the back. Too much I know, but I want to explain everything in this video. Now for the loadout. I know, a lot of yous love to run Endurance as Ninja to be able to move faster and jump from amp to amp easily. But if you need more damage from your traps, your durability is very low, or you can't handle the Smasher's bug after all of this, the base is the key here. The team perk gives you 42.5% traps damage, which is insane. I can tell you how huge this number is, but not just that. The commander, which is Harper, give you 52.5% traps durability. She is a must-have for people who have low durability. Base Kyle, for 28% health for your structures affected by base. Mega Base to cover more area. Nox, to repair the build, just in case it took any damage, only the structures affected by base. The Ice King, to slow anything walking on structures affected by base. And Heavy Base Kyle, for some extra damage from your base every few eliminations. You see how insane it is to use a constructor's loadout for endurance? Even if you don't have all these heroes, just fill the support team with constructors for the team perk. Because it gives 8.5% traps damage for each constructor. But of course, the traps affected by the base only. And if you have these heroes in epic, blue, or even green rarity, use them. Rarity doesn't matter here, all of them give the same bonus. For the base location, you can place it anywhere to cover the biggest area. For me, I place it here if I want to cover the last part of the tunnel, for smashers. Or in front to cover all the spawn cover. Or in the middle for 50-50. Even you can change its place as you like, doesn't matter. I think I covered everything possible. Too much in one video I know. But I didn't want to make a short video, then keep following it with update video after each game update. I added all in one place to make it simple. I will cover the other loop bridges in a separate video and anything I forgot in this video. And I will update the description as always. Plus a gameplay video to cover all the waves with some tips if needed. Hope this video helped, and if it did, don't forget to use code Larsis in the item shop if you want to support me, really helps me a lot. Like, subscribe if you are enjoying the content, helps the video to reach more people. Big thanks for the channel members and everyone uses my code, really appreciate your support. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, see you in the next one.